Hello everybody, so when someone asks you what's the most luxurious car in the world, the answer has to be a Rolls Royce. So for me, the Silver Spirit is the model that springs to mind. So in today's video, I'm bringing you this late Series 1 model supplied by Maurice Leslie Classic Car Auctions. You'd be surprised at how cheap these actually are now, so stay tuned if you're a brave DIY enthusiast and fancy taking the plunge and trying to get one of these and run it on a shoestring. In this video, I'm going to give you a tour of the fabulous interior, a walk around of the exterior, take a look under the bonnet at that V8 and do a short test drive. So you're going to find out a little about the Silver Spirit model range. Does it still feel like the most luxurious car in the world or just plain old-fashioned? And finally, how much money it actually made at auction along with my conclusions. So come on, who's owned one? Put in the comments, did you have to remortgage your house to keep it on the road? I'd be interested to hear who's DIY maintained one on a sensible budget and how much it actually cost. My name's Chris and welcome to Retro Ratchet. So released in 1980, the same time as the Austin Metro, it replaced the faithful Silver Shadow 2, and production continued right the way up till 1997 with various improvements along the way. A long wheelbase version called the Silver Spur was also available at a cost of a whopping $7,000 over the standard wheelbase version. Who wants to see inside? Well, certainly me. Best place of a Rolls has to be the interior. So when you get inside, you're not actually sitting down, you're just kind of like sliding over. The driving position, you are very, very high, very stately. So you're certainly not sitting low down like you are in a sports coupe. So a very commanding view right the way down that massive bonnet. So that was one of the first questions we asked at the start of the video. Does the car still feel luxurious or is it just plain dated? Well, you know what? I think it still feels very luxurious, you know. Handcrafted, high quality car like this. You can smell the quality of the leather and the wood trim that is all over the car. I mean, if you look at the actual door trims, big slabs of wood on them, chrome bezels around all the switches. So I'm definitely going to give it a thumbs up. I mean, yes, it is obviously dated and it's old fashioned, but you're getting a highly handcrafted, you know, vehicle which is built to last. So let's take a wee look at what is inside this one then. Well, this is your temperature controls here. So you've got your upper temperature and lower temperature. These things are very smooth in operation, very precise. Air conditioning, so it's your air conditioning control. This chrome knob here, and again, hear that click. Well put together things. The steering wheel is rather odd. It's super thin and skinny. It's a wee two-spoke design. That's the only one thing that I think feels a little bit out of place in here. It looks like something out of a much older car. Column shift, this is your gears, park, reverse, neutral, drive, I and L. And you've got your cruise control there also on this stock. And around this side you've got your wiper controls, similar kind of switch as to the air conditioning. So there's your speedometer there, 150 mile an hour. I don't know what the top speed of these was, but I imagine it would be well in excess of 100, probably 120 or 130. This one's shown 27,000 miles on the clock. We have no rev counter here, I guess. Rolls Royce drivers weren't really interested in how fast the engine was turning over. Battery volts, oil, fuel and engine temperature. And this is obviously all your warning lights up here, anti-lock brakes, coolant, washer fluid, that kind of thing. So this is the only thing I think does look a little bit cheap, the warning lights here where it looks like it's just printed on. Everything else is much, much higher quality. So in this section here, you've got your headlights and your ignition switch. Now we have a Blaupunkt stereo here. I do not know if that is original. Put in the comments, I don't know what these came with. Chrome cigarette lighter. And then to the center here, we have your seat controls. So yeah, every conceivable electric adjustment on the two front seats, and you've also got your memory function for 4 different occupants. And this is your electric mirror switches. These lovely little armrests here to keep you comfy. So it's basically like an armrest at either side. So you can just sit like this with your hands on the wheel and relax. 4 electric window switches there. Yeah, there's a big chunk of wood at the top, you know, if you're posing and want to cruise like this. So yeah, I think it's a lovely place. And I mean, these carpets as well. Big, thick, dark blue carpets. Yeah, everything is so luxurious in here. And you don't have a conventional handbrake arrangement either. You have your foot brake there, which then you release using that lever. In the back, if you are going to be chauffeured around in your Rolls Royce, let's move over to this side so we can see. Plenty of legroom for a short male such as myself. Again, the wood theme continues through here. Lovely big bits of wood veneer on the doors there. Chrome around all the switches, so you've got your electric windows. Somewhere for putting your maps, although I don't think you would need a map if you're sitting in the back. Lovely leather trim over the roof here. So it's just leather absolutely everywhere. Like a massive armrest in the middle. Wonder how much hide was used to trim out a full Rolls Royce. Put in the comments if you know. I imagine it'd be quite a lot. Just noticed there as well, you've got little mirrors for whatever reason. Yeah, oh yeah, you can just see them. So that's pretty handy. Make sure you're looking your best before you get out of the car. But yeah, what a lovely place to be. Very luxurious. So thumbs up for me for that. Right, let's take a wee look round the outside of the Rolls. So yeah, this is a standard wheelbase version. Very end of the Series 1 run, and what a lovely colour. It stands out so well. Let's take a look at these wheels. Chrome wheels with body colour there in the centre, and those things are massive. It says they're actually only 15-inch wheels, 235/70s. They do look substantially bigger considering they're fitted on such a big car. Let's look round the front. Got those big square headlights there and that massive grille. Beautiful. And moving down below, we have no headlamp wash wipe in this, but we do have headlamp washer jets. It looks like a little plastic splitter there under the bumper. I mean, when you look at this, you just think to yourself, what a well-built, robust car. Very well engineered. You've got those little white pinstripes running along the length of it there. And chrome everywhere round all the windows. I think 30 years on, this 3-box design still looks classy rather than just dated. I think it's one of these timeless designs that people will always appreciate. And moving around the rear, well, we don't have any badges except the centre one there, which hides the lock for the boot. Very, very plain and understated. So those big massive lights there. And you have a single tailpipe on this model. And your spare wheel hides down below. You'll just be able to make that out. But yeah, a proper grand piece of kit, this one. Let's take a look under the bonnet, if you're brave. Right, so what have we got under here? So that very recognisable 6.75 litre V8. It's also fitted with a 3-speed GM 400 auto box. Now both of these came directly from the outgoing Silver Shadow 2. Rolls-Royce at the time never really released the exact brake horsepower figures from these, but from the research I've done, I think these are meant to be just a little bit over 200 horsepower. But yeah, looking at this thing, it does fill me with dread. Pound signs everywhere you look. So from 1987, they fitted them with fuel injection. I mean, I'm guessing that maybe made them a tiny little bit more efficient than they were previously, removing those carbs. You've also got hydraulic suspension in these, but this one doesn't have the active ride control, thankfully, because I think that's a whole different ball game in terms of expense. But yeah, it's there's a lot going on under here, a lot of pumps and a lot of pipes, and I won't claim that I know exactly how all of this works because I've never worked on one, thankfully, but it looks like a very well put together piece of kit. And even looking up there in the bonnet, look at all that sound deadening. I've never seen a car with sound deadening as thick as that on the bonnet. Every single area is covered, and I would imagine it'll be the same for the bulkhead in there. Yeah, you can actually feel the sound deadening material in there, but yeah, I would not fancy working on one of these, but this car is silky smooth. So let's take it for a drive and see how it runs. Okay, on to the important part. How does it drive? Does it still drive like a luxury limousine? There you go. How quiet is that? And then into drive. And we're off. So, day in the life of an executive chauffeur. First thing you notice about this is the steering is super light. I mean, look at that. Wallows about like a big boat, as you would expect. So yeah, you think you're driving a much, much lighter car. I think these were in the region of 2.25, maybe a little bit more tons. There's a lot of leather in it and a lot of wood. But yeah, it's very, very easy to manoeuvre about and turn. You can just about hear that 6.75 litre V8 under the bonnet. Let's put our foot down a bit. Yeah, you can hear it there. How nice is that? A lovely purr off that V8. What I am surprised about is it's actually more responsive than I expected it to be. I thought it was going to be super lazy, obviously very torquey, but you know, a little bit of throttle input and this thing is off. There we go. I mean, it is only a 3-speed automatic, so it probably does go pretty fast in first gear, but yeah, very, very responsive. You get that big push forwards. That's very impressive. Very, very powerful brakes in it as well. Yeah, I'm quite enjoying driving this. I wouldn't enjoy fueling it. I couldn't imagine you get much to the gallon out of one of these. But yeah, I did think it would be a sluggish old beast. I think it must all be torque. Probably must be about 300 pound-foot of torque at least, I would imagine. I think we were probably still in first gear, you know. That's it, floored. I tell you, it hustles along pretty well. Yeah, I'm liking this. I think I'd probably rather drive it than be in the back and be a passenger. Just wafting along like this and try not to look at the fuel gauge. Fantastic piece of kit. It's an absolute pleasure to get the chance to drive one of these today. Now, on to my conclusions. Well, it was a memorable experience to drive one of these finally, but if I ever embarked on full ownership of one, it would have to be a sole focus car. I wouldn't be able to have any other toys in my collection because I suspect there'd be a lot of complex fettling involved at this age. Secondly, I was pleasantly surprised by that engine, how responsive it was. I expected it to be a lot more sluggish than it was. And thirdly, to answer my original question, I think it still ranks as a luxury car in 2024. You may be wondering what the car made in the auction. Well, bear in mind this is a two-owner car with 27,500 miles on the clock and bids go up to 14,000. So that gives you kind of an idea of what you can get for your money. Thank you all for watching. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe, and I hope to see you all for the next video.